Hello, dear viewers. I have taken a couple hours break in between recording these videos to play something that doesn't involve me talking a whole bunch. So hopefully I'll have a little bit more of a voice. I did some stash management just now before I started recording, both to sort of re-familiarize myself with Billing's learned hand, the Demonspawn hunter, um, but also just so you didn't have to watch me dropping stuff and carting it around. And I did try out a couple of scrolls, and I identified a potion or two. None of it was very exciting. Found the Scroll of Vulnerability, which strips magic resistance from you and everything around you. Can also get rid of Glow, the mutation risk that you get from high contamination. Um, So, I don't really need to carry those around, and I dropped a few other things. The boots that um, we, well, soon won't be able to use at all and don't really want to use right now because of our sharp toenails, which become talons, as we can see with our mutations. Um, and, the chainmail that I found that was resist electric, I don't think I'll need resist electric uh, enough for it to be worth the wait and for it to be worth the spellcasting penalty when I put it on. Because, see, I can cast all these spells really well. 4% chance of failure is a risk I'll take. And so now we have doggy allies whenever we need them. See, we can summon dogs. We summoned a hound. And they will fight for us, and they can be very useful for blocking line of sight or for running away, dressing up in little tuxedos to get married to other hounds. Okay, so now we're kind of at a stall in the game, unfortunately. We've done layer levels 1 through 6. Layer level 7 is going to be pretty difficult, though we might be able to do it. We've poked our heads into the swamp. It looks too tough for us right now. We need poison resistance. I'm not even going to poke my head into the snake pits without poison resistance. You can easily die on the first tile of the snake pit if you don't have a way to keep them from poisoning and repoisoning you all the time. We could... Oh, let's go to Orc. Let's go to the Orc mines. Yeah, I won't do that again, I promise. Griffin zombie. Okay, I remember the last time... Well, maybe it wasn't the last video, but one of these videos, I dramatically underestimated... Drastically, not dramatically. Well, that too. I was pretty dramatic about it. Drastically underestimated the power of a Griffin zombie. So I'm going to treat it with a little more respect this time. But I think we've gotten strong enough since then that Griffin zombies do not phase us. Okay, so this is what the orcish mines look like. Tons and tons and tons and tons and tons of orcs. Just all over orcs. Remember early on we were talking about how dangerous the orc priests are. They're not really all that dangerous now. If there are 5 or 6 of them hanging around, I might start to get nervous. Well, as many as 4, I'd be careful. Okay, so here we're going to stare dance a little bit. You see that all of those came up with us, but only 2 of them can actually reach us at any given time. So we can just, at our leisure, slaughter a whole bunch of orcs. Now, the only downside to stare dancing there is that we don't get our nice little regen bonus from our mutation fighting back down in the mines, only out here. +0 leather armor of magic resistance. If the ring mail was giving me any trouble as far as spellcasting penalty, I would probably switch to that. As is, I'll just keep it for if we have... if we get to the point where we need to cast a more difficult spell and every point of encumbrance rating will make a difference, then we can potentially switch to that. But I don't think it'll come to that. We'll probably just put it back in our stash. Alright, yeah. There There's just the priest. We probably could have taken them out down here, but no need to do that, especially because in the Orcish mines, occasionally they will have branded weapons and armor, like that leather armor we just found. And, you know, if one of them happens to have like a Holy Wrath weapon, that's not a very common brand. Flaming is pretty common. Um, Freezing, pretty common, though maybe not quite as much as flaming. Electrocution is fairly rare, but it's very dangerous. We would be happy to get something with electrocution on it. But in the meantime, we're just sort of taking it easy. I feel like we're probably much stronger than these orcs, but feeling like you're much stronger than anything in Dungeon Crawl is a great way to end up burning through a whole bunch of consumables, like earlier when I was nearly taken out by a spiny frog. I think I came within, well, certainly single digits away from death. See, here are a bunch of priests, but they're not really swarming me all that much. By a bunch of priests, do I mean 3? Okay, whatever. This is an altar to Bo, by the way, or Buf, or Beog. There are many ways to try and pronounce that. It may be based off of some deity somewhere, and so it's a pun or something. But I don't know that much lore. Anyway, I think you can only worship Bo as an orc, a hill orc specifically. Maybe you can, but regardless, I already have a god, and he has treated me fairly well thus far. Yeah, we're not doing too badly here. Okay. Do the parade dance. Do the parade dance. If you auto-explore, it will stop you over any piles that have a corpse, basically. Okay, so Duvessa. A plain-looking elven fighter who is technically brilliant in many forms of combat, but overconfident because of it. She is complemented by the magical skills of her twin brother, Dowin. This means Dowin is nearby. And they come as a pair. If you kill one of them, the other gets some kind of buff, some enhancement to their abilities. I believe if you kill Dowin first, Duvessa goes berserk, into a berserk rage, which gives her greatly increased damage and speed, and I think gives her a bunch of extra hit points as well. If you kill Duvessa first, Dowin, I believe, gains spell power, so he hits you harder with his, I think, puffs of flame, throw flame, maybe, or magic darts, and he is hasted. So I generally opt for trying to kill Duvessa, because Dowin does tend to just blink around a lot ineffectually. Whereas a Berserk Duvessa is a formidable foe indeed. Yes, you hear a distant wail of despair. No matter how far away the twin is, they know. They know that you have slain their other half. And in a stroke of cruelty, I devour his flesh. Just one of the many atrocities that one must face in the realm of the Orb of Zot. It's heartbreaking, I know. Sometimes Duvessa will have a cool weapon. We don't really care about short swords. We have a neat little spear that continues to do quite well for us. Especially when we're running low on arrows, which, again, we are. I feel like either we are overusing our bow, which surely that is not the case, or we have just not found many arrow piles. I know that Okawaru has gifted us with some, but the magical arrows, or the branded arrows, rather, have a much higher break percentage, I think, than regular arrows. Though maybe that's also true with the bow of fire. I don't know. But regardless, can't hurt to conserve a little bit of ammo, especially during just the sort of mop-up part of the level. Now, the interesting thing about the Orcish mines is that they come in different pods. So here we have, let's see, one staircase down, and we're standing on the only other staircase down that we can see. That means there's a whole nother section to this level, probably down here-ish. And it can only be accessed by coming up a staircase that's on the next level down. So it's kind of a little maze-like thing, but it's pretty easy as long as you remember that there are 3 up and 3 down staircases on every level. That doesn't count these escape shafts, the brown ones that go up and down. Those are one-way passages, so I can go down here, but I cannot come back up. And they can dump you in a completely different part of the dungeon. So you only want to use one of these when you're fairly certain that you have cleared the entire level. Otherwise, you could drop yourself down into a pit where there is no escape. Okay, so now I kind of wish that I had hung on to that chainmail, but oh well, because there is an ice cave here. Ice caves are very, very dangerous, where we were reluctantly willing slash foolhardily entering what we thought was the volcano and turned out to be a mimic. I will do no such tomfoolery with the ice cave. The ice cave is very deadly, much more so than the volcano. The volcano is mostly like, don't, flying 101, don't evoke flyable objects, flight objects, so you can try and get over lava when you can't see the other side, because it can run out and you can fall in the lava and die. It's learning that the hard way with a couple of characters. But the ice cave is legitimately deadly to any character that enters it, especially if they don't have cold resistance. Some of them you can kind of get around tactically. I might go in if I had more than 13 arrows, because I do have the bow of flame, and that is quite deadly to the denizens of the ice cave. Okay, so we have to go back up and try this other staircase. The little yellow asterisk in the corner is how you can tell that you haven't been there yet. Wow! An Orc Knight on Orc 1. That's tough. That's a tough enemy. I think we want heroism for him. Good, we killed the wizard. Yeah, Orc Knights are usually in plate armor. He's wielding yeah, oh yeah, there it is, wielding a broadaxe and wearing a chainmail. Broadaxe has quite a high base damage rating, which means he can chop us up bad. Like that. Oh, yeah, the Battle Frenzy. That's what's got me. I didn't pay attention to the fact that he had a trident. Well, again, hubris. Fortunately, we have this potion of heal wounds, which we will use, and we will haste ourselves. And we will back up away from these frenzied orcs. Let's try out this wand. Wand of Slowing. Cool. That worked out in our favor. See, that's the benefit of having evocations training. That wand might not have worked if we had a lower evocation skill. He might have resisted it. Okay. Let's cast Mephitic Cloud here. And again, there. Okay, cool. So now they're confused. All right, this is the way to win at Dungeon Crawl. Like, even if you get yourself into a rough situation, don't panic and like fling yourself at them or say it's all over and just burn through all your consumables all at once. Like, be smart. You can back off, sort of think out what you're gonna do, look over all your options. I kind of tunnel vision there. I forgot about my spells. And just take it easy. And sometimes you'll be in too deep and you won't survive. But that's, that's when it's time to put the game down and go outside, get some fresh air. It's a little cool out today, but it's still pretty beautiful. It's a nice spring day. All right, I'm going to test whether or not the flame bow and the frost arrows mix. Oh, okay. So it does still fire a projectile of some sort, but I think it might remove the frost. Even though it still says it's an arrow of frost, you can see it doesn't have the particle effect, the little burst of white around it that it would if I had used my original bow. Okay, so we took care of that. That was a little scary. It's uncommon to see Orc Knights on Orc level 1, Orcish Mines level 1. We are starting to slow down. That's a helpful message to let you know that your haste is about to run out. You really don't want it to run out at an inopportune time. The downside is, if you haste yourself again, your contamination will stack up, because your contamination lasts longer than your haste. So to keep yourself hasted, you run a higher and higher risk of mutating yourself each turn. Oh, right, yes, we were going to the staircase. We were not leaving the Orcish Mines. Okay, so yeah, there's still an ice cave somewhere where we do not know. Kill the priest! We'll snare dance up just to keep this manageable. I think I can go ahead and wield this, this spear. And this is one of those situations where having the Amulet of the Gourmand is really useful, because you can heal back up to full each time you stair dance, but because you can eat until you're full, you don't have to worry about a hunger clock. Like, the corpses won't rot while you're healing, and you don't have to wait until you're hungry. It's just really convenient. It's a very cool amulet to have, although, its use becomes less necessary in the late game, generally. Can still be really useful if you find a labyrinth. Again, kill the priest first. Oh, wow. He's hurting a lot. He can't one-shot me, though, I don't think. So, we will go ahead and haste ourselves. We do have that regen. Yeah, there we go. All right. Thank you, Okawaru. Actually, that regeneration is our powered by death mutation. That gets really, really strong a little bit later on. I wish we had rank 2 of it, at least, because the Orcish Mines are a fantastic source of lots of corpses in a very tightly packed area. The best situation for powered by death. Okay, so poke our heads down into 3, but we haven't been to this up staircase yet, so this probably leads to a different area, although we still haven't found the ice cave. That's odd. 1, 2, 1, 2. Oh, well, we've only found 2 of the staircases. Okay, so we'll find a down staircase somewhere in this little pod that will lead us to where the ice cave is. Too late, I'm sure, to enter, even if we had a blatant disregard for our well-being and decided to try and go through. Instead, we'll just take it steady. Huh. 1. Oh, 2, 3. Okay. So maybe not. I'm not sure. Oh, maybe it's on 3. I don't know. The Orcish Mines can be very confusing. Alright, so we need to find an up staircase here to find another pod, I guess. That was getting a little hairy. Should be okay like this. Sometimes I just pray wherever there's loot in general. Just in case there's a corpse, so I don't have to sort of sift through them all. Okay, we have a gadget shop here. Gadget shops are one of my least favorite shops. It does have a rod, which we can afford. Ooh, a rod of ignition. I was about to say that rod of destruction is less appealing because it's at a -1 recharge rate, but a rod of ignition might be useful. I think I'll wait, because there are some really good stores in the Orcish mines, and I don't want to blow it all on a rod that we might not even decide to use. Rods are rechargeable, evocable items. They recharge with time, rather. So you have a reusable outlet for your evocation skill. So you train evocations like crazy up until about 15, where the diminishing returns really start to kick in. And you're very strong through the middle game with that rod. Sometimes. Other times, like, there, the Rod of Ignition, you know, if we bump into some fire-resistant enemies, and we've put too many points into evocations and not into other methods of killing things, we could be in some serious trouble. Which is why I was hesitant to just dive all in with all of our cash on the Rod. I mean, we'll get a lot more throughout the course of the Orc Mines. That's one of the benefits of doing this right after the lair. In the lair, you find a lot of items. There's a lot of sources of free food, so you can sort of stock up on perma food if you haven't encountered a whole lot of that already, or if you've gotten stuck in some dry runs of corpses, or encountered a lot of for any reason you're low on food. The lair is really nice. But here, it's all about the money. Money, 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 money. We'll eat some dudes. I realize I'm still walking around with the spear. That's because anything above Orc 4 is not going to surprise me. Like, this guy is hurting me because he's wielding, I don't know, a halberd. Yeah, that's a really strong polearm. He's wielding a halberd, and so that hurts a lot. But I'm just not worried about running into anything insurmountable. Ah, that's why that was hurting. There was a flail of holy wrath. See, that's one of the things I specifically said could kill me. I need to listen to myself. Listen to myself speak. What am I saying? But, like I said, those are uncommon, and I really don't want to waste arrows. I just don't like the fact that we have 10 regular arrows and a smattering of... I wonder... Oh. Okay, so we have 25 arrows of flame, I guess, in our stash. And I suppose we could be using stone arrow as well, although I guess its power is getting there. I guess I'll turn on earth magic. Turn on earth magic. I'll turn... like, I really kind of want to get summonings up there so that we can tell if it's a Grand Grimoire or not, but... You know, let's be efficient with this. Let's get spellcasting up to 6 first, so we can see if it's a Book of Annihilations with spellcasting and conjurations. If it's not, then we'll go back to training summonings. Because right now it's not doing us any good for those canines. Oh yeah, we're not carrying. Okay. Anyway, back to the crawling. Yeah, sometimes the explore algorithm isn't that smart. Oh, no, we still have up staircases we have not explored. And enemies we have not bested. Yeah, the equipment on Orc Warriors can really just ruin your day, if you aren't careful. Stair dance. mostly because of this two-headed ogre. It can wield 2 weapons at a time. It gets to hit you twice, etc. We're going to heroism. Is it worth a haste? Yeah. If you have to ask, it probably is. The reason why I was using the spear there and not our bow, aside from just conserving arrows, is with heroism, I'm not too terribly far off. Like 5 ranks in polearms is pretty decent with a spear, which has only 0.6. So it's not close to the minimum delay, but it's not bad. It would probably be closer than our bow. Our bow would take longer to shoot each time than our spear. Plus, we would have had to spend a turn switching over to it. I could have avoided any of that hassle by being more cautious about what I dragged down the stairs with me. But no use crying over spilt ogre blood. Okay. There are just lots of ogres. That's never a phrase you want to say. There are lots of ogres. Okay. If we can get one ogre at a time here. Yeah. Alright, there we go. Yeah, because these orcs are doing nothing to us. They don't have any kind of enchanted weapon. They're just... We're either dodging whatever they're throwing at us, or their attacks are bouncing off of our scales and our ring mail. Our helmet. I imagine I'm wearing a football helmet. In my heart of hearts. Ooh, wow. That hurt. Something hurt a lot. Probably that 2-headed duder. I'm going to read a scroll of teleportation. Ooh, and maybe die. Yikes. Okay, well. At least we have miasma on him. I think this has earned a potion of heal wounds. Oh, good. He slowed down. We will survive. Ooh, yikes. Yeah, okay. Kids, don't try this at home. Do what I say, not what I do. Yeah, that was very foolhardy. I stayed way too long in that fight. I jumped into a bunch of ogres. I stayed when that sorceress appeared instead of pulling them down immediately to take care of them in a more efficient manner. That was just poor judgment all over the place. Yeah, this guy has a Mace of Holy Wrath. Like, rookie mistakes. Rookie mistakes. We'll be okay, though. Alright. We were down there long enough that apparently the sorceress has wandered off. Ah, there she is. Ogre Mage. As annoying as monsters that blink are when they're in groups, I really don't mind them. I really don't mind fighting them all that much one-on-one. Sometimes they will just blink next to you and hit you in the face, and that's inconvenient, but if they're blinking, chances are there's some sort of spellcaster, and being close to them isn't actually any more dangerous than being far away. And regardless, anytime they cast blink, they're not casting a spell that deals damage to me, and that's really important. We're going to sacrifice that because it's going to give us a couple piety. We're probably pretty close to max piety, which doesn't give you anything extra as a follower of Okawaru. It just gives you a little bit more to work with as far as using finesse and heroism. Just some squish room. And you might get gifts more frequently, too. It's possible. So I picked up this flail and tried it out, because that mage seemed to... or whoever had it seemed to be hitting me a bunch. And it's a +2/+1 flail, so it's got good base damage. I actually really like going maces and flails on my fighter characters. You lose a little bit of the utility in some clutch situations that you get from axes, because axes cleave in a sort of a semicircle around you. Um, and that can be very helpful when you get mobbed unexpectedly. You can't do that with maces and flails, but their damage is just a lot better earlier on and later on. Like in the mid game, there's kind of a spike where you get broadaxes or battle axes, and maces and flails. You're still kind of kicking around with just flails. Oh, here's where the ice cave was. Yeah, collapsed entrance. Yeah, it's definitely not there anymore. We spent way too long messing around with those ogres. Wolves, however, are not that scary to me. Yaks are, now that I think about it. Although we do have a corpse that's helping us regenerate here. At least one. So I feel fairly confident in our ability to kill these guys. This is where, like, the lair is the place for venomous weapons and spells. Like, past the lair, they don't do you a whole lot of good. Okay, so that's an ice dragon. Hello. If we're lucky, it'll leave a corpse and we'll butcher it and get ice dragon armor. That would be sweet. But for now, we are going to switch to our bow. We are going to target the dragon and use the period key to fire directly at the dragon. That way it doesn't shoot beyond the dragon and alert any other enemies. Not likely, but it'll also make sure that it lands in the dragon's square. Fortunately, ice dragons are quite susceptible to fire of the arrow variety. Cool. Nice. I think we are going to butcher one of the wolf's corpses. So I'm going to press C to chop, and we're going to say no, and we don't want to butcher the polar bear, but we do want to butcher the wolf. We don't want to butcher any other things. Just little hotkey things, you know. Makes the game a little more efficient, but you don't have to use them. You can play this game entirely by clicking, if you so choose. I'm pretty sure. I would be frustrated by doing that, but it's possible. I'd like to see a tablet adaptation. I don't know how feasible that would be, but that could be kind of cool. Take the escape hatch only because we know we've explored all of Orc 1. Yeah, oh yeah, and the other one. Same thing with that route down and Orc 2. Morning Stars are pretty good. They're a very strong mace type. Oh yeah, I can't wield it because it's Morning Star of Holy Wrath. That could have ruined our day. Glad it was just a lowly orc. Regular orc wielding it. Okay, yeah, here we go. The rest of Orc 3. Got some priests. Let's back up. Let's not dive into anything that we're not prepared for. Let's take it slow. Yeah, see, that wasn't too bad. Yeah, I mean, a couple times now I've had to even burn resources on a fight which should not have. And you can get around a lot of the consumable issues with good preparation. Like, you might still have to use a lot of your resources, like your piety with your god. You know, you might have to use a bunch of invocations. Or like wands. But if you stick to invocations and wands, those are renewable resources. You can recharge wands with scrolls of recharging. You cannot get back a potion once you chug it. So I guess, yeah, wands are still a finite resource, but each scroll you find is maybe as common as a potion of heal wounds anyway, and it gives you 5 charges instead of 1. So. In the orc mines. Oh, yeah, I did say I wouldn't do that anymore. Makeups. Oh, a distant snort. Ooh. Oh, good. I do have a scroll of magic mapping. Okay, that distant snort signifies a labyrinth. And I love labyrinths. They're one of my favorite parts of this game. So it looks like There are a few places. Okay, so this business over here, all this, those are 4 shops, and these 2 little egg-looking things are full of bad guys. This is the entrance to the Elven halls. They are too strong for us right now. So it means that our labyrinth... Oh, this is an altar, probably to Bo. Sometimes it's to, like, Okawaru or someone. So either here or here is the labyrinth. Either way, we'll probably get to it just fine. And that'll be a cool way to wrap up this video, is the labyrinth. Because I'm not sure that I want to take on the totality of Orc 4. There could be some really, really strong uniques. Okay, that's a shop. We're going to check it out, because we should have enough time still to get to the labyrinth passage, like many other like all other temporary branches, collapses after a time. Okay, so there are a bunch of identify scrolls. We can go ahead and get a scroll of summoning so that we don't have to read ID it. Read ID means identify by reading. If you buy a scroll, it identifies it in your inventory. And, you know, scrolls of summoning are cool too. Oh, why did I open that door? That was a terrible idea. I'm actually going to flee into the labyrinth. This is... Oh, wow. Okay, so... hopefully we'll find something really cool in here, because we could very well die when we go back outside. I don't know why I opened that door. I was on autopilot. I don't think I was even auto-exploring. Maybe I thought the labyrinth was in there, but there was a high priest in there. Orcish high priests are really strong. They summon powerful demons. They smite you harder than regular priests. Not to be trifled with. So instead, we fled into the labyrinth, where if we were not careful with our perma food, if we did not come in here with a few rations, we could starve to death. And that's a really embarrassing way to die in Crawl. For everyone except Spriggans, I can kind of understand if you get really unlucky with the food drops early on. Spriggans are herbivores, so they can not benefit from butchering corpses. They have to eat permafood. And while their metabolism is very slow, there are hungry ghosts that hit you with hunger attacks, cursed rings of hunger, powerful artifacts that have hunger as a sort of a balancing factor. Like it might be a very high damage bonus and also freeze them and also give you 3 strength, but it makes you get hungry faster. Okay, a Minotaur skeleton coming into view. This is... the reason why I just blundered into this is because I'm not used to there being monsters outside of the central room of the lair where the Minotaur resides. That's something that's relatively new within the past 2 or 3 trunk patches. So we're going to back up this way. No, that doesn't get us out of the danger. I want to not be able to be hit by both of them at the same time. Our scroll of summoning failed. That's really too bad. I don't know if that's... No, it's not intrinsic to the level. Okay, so we summoned our faithful hound. Oh no, who's being paralyzed? Although it seems that he's surviving relatively well so far. That's why summons are really great, and I underuse them. Because that could have been a deadly situation with both of them being able to hit me at once. If the Basilisk turns me to stone and hits on me, that's fine. If only the Minotaur can hit me, that's also fine. The Minotaur skeleton, rather. An actual Minotaur would be much scarier. I only have 1 arrow left. How have we come to such a state? I'm glad that... Oh, I have spells. That's helpful. Because I know that it is dealing damage to it. I don't know how much, because skeletons are one of those undead types that I mentioned in several videos. Yes, that does not show you their hit points when you're damaging it. Because, you know, you can't tell, like, how healthy a skeleton is. It's dead. I mean, undead, sure, but it is not... Your normal standards of judging health are not applicable here. So we got to this center of the labyrinth before I really even had the chance to explain it to you. So the way labyrinths work, as we get ambushed by a trapdoor spider, which is fine, we can take one of those. They're hunger traps, kind of, because you cannot retain a map of them. Like, I think scrolls of magic mapping don't work. Rest up from this poison here. If you rest, the map slowly dissolves, and sometimes it's really difficult to figure out where things are. As it is, we just kind of blundered into the center. The one thing you can tell always with labyrinths... Ooh, ouch. I thought the place up there with the door would be the one with the Minotaur, not here. Okay, this is... he has a Rod of Summoning, which isn't awesome for us. Though it does mean he's not going to immediately bum rush us. So let's just back up. That worm is in front. Whatever it is, it's a brain worm zombie. Okay, so reasonably dangerous, but I believe it's also slow. Yeah, it is slow. Excellent. So we can just kind of dodge out here. I'm going to check out this room. It's probably a bad idea. Something opens the door. Shadow, huh? Well, we have See and Biz, so we're not too worried about it, but we have no arrows. We have none. None such. If I thought ahead, I could have created a column of flame. Let's summon a doggy. Get some distance here. Let's make a column of flame here, so that if something else catches up, it can't just walk into that space. Okay, my hound didn't do a lot of damage, but that's okay. We're going to make a column of flame here, because undead will often float into... Oh, there's already a cloud there, shucks. Undead will often float into your columns of flame, and you want them to do that. You very much want them to do that. And if they don't, you can attack them from afar with your spear. Another great reason to have a little pole arm. And we can refresh our column of flame. There we go. All right. So that's a pretty strong rod that he's using. Again, rods are the rechargeable, evocable items. And not Scroll of Recharging type rechargeable, like they recharge over time as you walk around. Okay, so gross. Looks like there's some cool stuff. There's a dazzling spear. That might even be incentive to put points into pole arms, but that presupposes our survival. Well, I think same technique as last time. Faithful Hound. Some Fuego. And, more Fuego. Oh, there's the cloud of vanishing summon. See how that undead dude is just, like, sauntering through our flame? It is damaging it. And he is hitting us from time to time because he's wielding a stinking polearm himself. The reason why I didn't put one in the corner, of course, is because you can cut corners and so can the monsters. Okay, we're out of magic. That's not great. Guess let's shoot a few arrows. These warriors are really tough. They're real tough enemies. We definitely needed heroism a while ago. Arrow of flame is likely to hit you. I don't understand. Ah, weird. And he's immune to our miasma. Let's haste ourselves. We have like 4 arrows left. This is just... I think we're going to stop trying to attack it and start running away. We'll have to fight a new batch of summons because of that darn rod. It'll recharge. Oh! Well, that's a last resort. The Abyss. I really don't want to go to the Abyss. I think that would be a really terrible idea. But we might not be able to beat the Minotaur with our current resources. He's got a rod that he can keep using. If I can't get a line of sight on him, I mean, I can't even shoot my last 2 arrows at him. That's really bad. Well, we've got spells. We've got, here's what we can do. We can equip... Oh, we dropped the Ring of Magical Power. We didn't think we'd need it. I did that in my stash. Okay, that sucks. What we will do is we'll make sure to use the Flail of Protection next time we get into melee. In fact, we'll probably go ahead and swap to that, because that'll give us 5 extra armor class, a little bit of extra survivability. I'll probably use Heroism and Finesse at the beginning, save the haste charge only if we need to run away. Because we don't have a Scroll of Recharging on us. That's rough. Okay, where is he? Awesome. Okay, see, this is why having a few points in stealth may have saved our lives, because he doesn't see us yet. So at most he can summon 2 dudes between him and us. Can we do anything to him right away? No. Okay. Cool. So we will actually close with him here. Rods don't hit all that hard in melee unless they're very heavily enchanted. So I think this is the case because we have so few arrows. We have 12 arrows. And I don't want to kite him because he can just summon stuff in between him. I'm going to use Heroism. Okay, good. And then I'm going to drink this potion of Berserk Rage, and I'm just going to hope that that is enough to take him down. Not looking like it. This is bad. Very bad. Definitely bad. It may have been a fatal error. I can't use a wand. I'm too berserk. I'm too berserk to drink a potion of might. Okay, I'm too berserk for any of this business. All I can do is keep attacking. I think I'm going to try getting out of here. No, that didn't work either. That's also really bad. What's worse is that we'll be exhausted once the berserk wears off, assuming that we survive. I think we're going to die here. Yep. Alas, alas, dear viewers, we have perished at the hand of the Minotaur in the center of the labyrinth, at the bottom of the Orcish mines, in the middle of the dungeon. Thank you, though, for watching for this long. I knew that the labyrinth would be a risk, but I thought it was worth it for the sake of the Let's Play, and also because I'm greedy, and I wanted the loot. I wanted the loot! But thank you for watching. This is Dungeon Crawl Stone Soup, and I'll be back soon with another set of videos. Thanks for watching.